Welcome back to the Hard Hitter Podcast. Michael will be our host today, so I'm going to hand it off to him to intro us. Go ahead, Michael.
Thank you. I don't know how to intro, but we're just going to go for it.
I like this.
Today, before we talk about it, we're going to introduce everybody. We got Alex, Daniel, Creasy. Say what's up, my brother.
Hey,
Now we
yo,
know
give my
Social
social
Security
security
number.
number while you're at it. Wow.
We have Frank the Tank Livia. Say something.
Can y'all not hear me?
I can.
Yeah,
Now,
Bro, I said and it didn't pick up my sound, and I was like,
we got Brian Adams.
I don't know who that
Chirac.
character is.
Excuse me, Mr. Brian, will you
And
tell us your middle name? By the way, Frank's middle name is Felice. All right.
And we have Joey Fornelli, the usual host. Yep. And today, got another episode of The Great Debate. The last one was offense versus defense. This one we're going to do NBA. And the topic, what would you say the topic is of this, Joey? Because it's kind of hard to pinpoint. I know, but I feel like we all came up with the topic.
Thought we settled it on is a 3-pointer.
Yeah.
Ruining the NBA.
I don't think that's
so. Yeah, we're doing is the 3-pointer ruining?
Okay, then what do you want the
NBA?
topic to be, Mike?
What is ruining the NBA?
Okay, perfect move. There you
Okay,
go.
we're gonna do what is ruining the NBA, and we have two teams. We have
what team
Mr.
are they
Greatest.
On? We have our side. We know our.
Yeah, we have Mr. Greatest and Joey. And we have Alex and Frank. Would you guys like to give your? We're gonna wait, or do you just want to give your?
Frank can give his opening statement.
And I am this, and I am the. Hold on, before we do this, last time we had Mr. Greatest be the moderator. We had Mr. Greatest be the judge, and he decided to want. I'm gonna do the same thing because I'm pretty neutral on it. So yeah. Do the captains want to give an opening statement?
Alex, you want to be the captain or me the captain?
Yes.
I'm the captain now.
Frank, go ahead.
We'll let team professionals start, Mr. Greatest and Joey.
Oh, team professionals. Hold on, let me set the paper where they go like that, straighten out the papers. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Me and Mr. Greatest. I'll talk for now, I guess.
Okay, go ahead.
Are representing the side that the 3-pointer is ruining the NBA. Just to start off, we'll lay out our points. First, everyone builds their team the same. It's very boring. Nobody's going to watch if every team plays the same. Not to mention, when you look at years past, especially in the early 2000s, early 2010s, around that area, you have many different teams who play all different types of basketball that make it fun to watch. But now every team is just dunk or three. So that is our opening point. Unless Mr. Grace wants to add anything.
Oh, that's all.
I think where me and Frank are coming from is
Whoa! Let the moderator talk.
No, you guys are good. Go, Joey. Or go, Alex.
Me and Frank's point of view is that super teams are killing the NBA ever since LeBron kind of did his thing over there in South Beach. It's all gone to not really hell, but
what do you consider?
It went to hell in
2017.
Can we get a definition of super team?
Three
Before we start.
Yeah, tell the audience what a super team is.
Yeah, let's get a definition.
Okay, Alex, let me explain.
A super team when you get Superman on a team.
That's literally what it
means. There's always been the super team with the big three in Boston. You had I want to say big three in San Antonio, but y'all know who I'm talking about.
You can say big three.
Big three.
I mean, well, okay, Mono wasn't like the biggest hero, but he wasn't.
It was a medium three.
Yeah, very good.
But then you had the big three in Miami. Then you had Golden State, and now we obviously know the super teams are really developing like crazy. So then you go back to Jordan's era after watching the documentary. There weren't big threes, but there were duos. So there's super teams now. are a lot different than super teams back then. So I think
What's
the
your
cutoff is
definition?
the cutoff.
Do-
Okay, that's what I'm about to give. The cutoff is LeBron.
Do super teams have they changed since as the league has gone on? Like, do you
Has super
need more
teams changed?
superstars? Like, do you
Here's
need more
the issue.
superstars now
I'm gonna
than
get
you
into
did in the
that.
90s?
I'm
Okay,
gonna get into that with the point.
Okay,
Yes,
fair point.
super teams, yes, are ruining it now because more superstars are more superstars are joining super teams. If that makes sense. Rather it be
Yeah.
remember, like I said, it was duos, then trios. Now it's full rosters.
Mhm. Okay.
They said a roster at all stars.
Well,
You're
is
gonna
all
have
is all you
Devin
have to
Booker
say for your
coming
opening
off as the
statement?
last man.
Dude, Devin Booker's sixth man would be heat.
Yeet.
That would be heat.
Oh, I thought you
Okay,
said
I'll,
six man
before
yeet. I was like,
no, but I was, well, so are we looking more of regular season, finals, or just the
I'm
whole
just talking
thing
about
together?
the sport
about all
being
of it.
boring, just
All
being boring to watch.
Okay,
The product
okay,
being
'cause
boring to watch.
Here's the
before
thing. Here's the thing.
Unentertaining.
We can all
Unentertaining.
agree. We can all agree the sport has definitely gotten worse.
Yes, we
Yeah.
can
That
definitely
down.
all agree.
That's one thing we're agreeing on. But we're talking about
Discussing
what
which-
has made
yeah.
it.
What is the main point?
Well,
Okay.
I think
Okay.
another thing to bring into that is the regular season is way too long. Something that
Has it- has-
That's an episode
hasn't
for
it always been 80 games?
it's always been
Or has
82,
they upped
but
it?
Yeah.
for a long time?
It's been 82.
there weren't super teams back then to fucking
Okay.
deplete the competitiveness of it. And now we're seeing, no one wants to fucking watch the Nets versus the Rockets. Like, who the fuck's gonna watch that?
I agree with that.
Like the
But I
the
wanna
full
say-
fucking roster
He
doesn't
used-
even play. Like the fucking 3 out of the 5 players don't even play.
He
And
used my comparison from earlier. I said the Nets and Rockets. Remember that, Michael?
Mm-hmm.
That's the Rockets.
Oh,
Right now in the finals?
No.
no,
he's
it's
No.
the
not
regular season. Nobody wants to turn that game on.
Yeah, because the Rockets are ass.
And hold on. I know I don't want to keep dragging this on, but I was at the barber shop today and we were watching they had ESPN on.
Please
And
make this relevant.
they showed an ad for the game tomorrow. Oh, Kevin Durant versus Dennis Schroeder. Tune in.
Yeah, he's probably not playing tomorrow.
Holy shit!
Okay,
my
Michael, want to
God.
prompt us with just a question?
It's not much.
Just a
It's
little something.
no, wait,
So-
wait. I
So we can
think.
talk off of it.
Can I give like
Let me
my
say something.
resolution to the
No,
regular
you
season?
can do
Intro
it.
is long. Oh my god, get organized.
listen,
Yeah, it's too
what I
long.
wanna say
Jordan's
is-
like 50
You,
games.
you
just
take
so-
out 20. You take out 20 games in the middle of the season, and you put in a fucking play-in bracket. There you go. Or not like
Okay.
But with that-
Mid-season tournament.
all right. That could be. This could be the
you
opening
get
thing.
you get some like
Wait,
second
listen,
round
shut up.
pick or
I'm the
first round
moderator.
pick.
I'm the moderator. So you're saying
Shut up.
you take out 20 games, it shortens the season.
I don't think this
So
is
you
what
s-
we're arguing. We can all agree that.
No,
it's
I
too
know,
long.
but you still think that the viewing ship would be down because of super
suck.
teams
Boring.
or 3-pointer.
In a
Three-pointer.
play in like a tournament thing.
I don't think it'd matter if you took out the games. It's still the same question.
Yeah,
That's not what we're
it's the same
arguing.
thing. Yeah, that doesn't matter.
I'm saying you
But-
replace the 20 games. What?
Yeah, but it's the same thing. It's what's ruining the viewership because the viewership is going down. That's what I'm gonna talk about. So obviously, Jordan was the biggest superstar the NBA had seen. When you look at when he's played from the 90s to the end of the 2000s, it was all humongous viewership. The NBA was extremely popular. When he left, it has gone down, and it's gone down very bad in like the past couple of years. Like, what do you have any stats? Anybody that on why it's gone down at all?
You want me to talk?
What?
Go ahead.
Any of you?
can start it off. You can start it off, Frank.
Okay.
Don't I got to the Reds in the finals again?
That's the Rangers.
Yeah, even in the regular season, if you look at the regular season, it's gone. I don't know. So this website doesn't say what it has a rating system. Like I don't know what the TV rating system goes to. But in the regular season, any year from the 90s all the way to the 2000s, it was always like a 5 rating. And when we hit 2010, it's in the 2s.
This shit's
And-
depressing right here, bro.
And in 2016,
Okay.
2017, it went to a 1. 2019, 2020, it went to a 1.8, the lowest ever. The regular season is definitely at the lowest watching it's ever been.
Well, they're afraid of last year because of the pandemic.
Well, actually, that'd probably be the reason it got watched the most because everyone's at home.
Hold on. Here's what I was gonna say.
That
Hold
was
on.
in
And it
October.
didn't.
Everybody was at work then.
Okay, I think this is pretty irrelevant. Let's go. Go ahead,
No,
Frank.
no. TV ratings has to do with popularity, obviously.
Well, yeah,
and
but
that
we're
goes
discussing
down
it.
with. So, like I was saying earlier when we were talking in our little group, the NBA, when it comes playoff time, I'm gonna be honest. I tune into playoffs games. I don't watch a series from start to finish every game unless it's the finals because they're not entertaining. They're not competitive because why? These fucking super squads murdering the fucking Atlanta Hawks. Like I don't care. Why should I? I don't know if it has to do with the playoffs are set up or what, but I don't want to watch the best team in basketball go against a sorry ass team that's scraped in by one game, but yet they're 30 game difference like the East. Like I don't want to watch that. And it's not fun until it gets to the finals. And even at that point, the super team, like the Warriors, were destroying LeBron's shitty ass fucking Cavs team, and they shouldn't have even been in the finals. It's not fun to. None of it has been fun to watch. I did not enjoy the finals last year. You know what game of the finals I enjoyed? When Jimmy Butler dropped 40 and put his team on his fucking back and made it a competitive game. That's
But
the
I feel-
only game of the
How about game
finals I was
5?
like,
But I
yeah,
feel so.
game
You're talking about
5.
last year, but would you guys are on? Do you think super teams are ruining? But you think the Lakers were a super team?
The
No.
Lakers aren't a super team. I don't feel
When
like
you was a
anybody.
super team.
Okay, I don't feel like anybody in the West last year was a super team. I don't feel like there really was that much of a super team last year, but it definitely shouldn't have been. I don't want to say the Heat shouldn't have been in there, but like they ran through everybody in the playoffs and then just got dismantled in the finals. And I feel like if the Bucks would have made it to the finals, the Bucks would have put up a way better fight. You know what I mean? Like a more consistent fight. Like Jimmy Butler did what he did in Game 5, and that was really it. Like I feel like Giannis would at least done that for 5 straight
I feel like
games.
last year was like the year of the duos.
Last year definitely was.
Yeah, but how does this have to relate to super teams?
Because I'm
like-
saying outside of
more
last year,
parity.
last year was the one year there was no super teams, and it was at least competitive for a game in the finals. Every year there's been super teams, it's just been dismantled.
Yeah,
dismantled.
but the ratings don't show. But the ratings are
Now
up
I don't know what
when
the
it's super
ratings are.
teams.
I don't know what the
People-
ratings are, but
You
at
can
least
look
for
right.
me,
Alex, try to find the
Oh, my
finals.
bad.
People want to
Not even
see
tuned
super
in.
teams.
Right
They want to watch
there.
them lose.
Is that the finals? No, try to find the finals. Oh,
There it goes. Sorry.
You know what
Better
I enjoyed
season.
watching? I enjoyed watching the Suns in the
shit.
bubble, the Trailblazers in the bubble. I don't know why. It was competitive.
there's the NBA finals.
fun.
Put it
There's
down
a
below.
home court.
Down below.
Game 7.
They don't
These
have
are grabbed
too-
by games.
Oh, scroll down. That's All Star. Look how different the All Star game is. That's off the
Yeah,
top.
that shit's crazy. 22 million
Joey?
to the lowest in 2008. 6.3.
Because Michael Jordan was in it.
Michael Jordan was in.
Well, we're talking about what ruined the NBA.
No, I'm talking about
we
like
can
the
talk about
viewership.
that
That's why
later.
it's so high.
Yeah, what are
The
we?
fucking marketing
We're
system.
getting off topic.
Frank was talking about. Wait, could you hear Frank, Joey? You know what Frank was talking about?
Yeah, I can kind of hear.
Okay.
Pretty much sum it up. Super teams make it not fun to watch. When there's not super teams, they're at least competitive the whole way around. Until
But the
LeBron
problem is
that shitty
the
up.
ratings don't show for it.
I
Yeah.
feel like, but people now are just kind of done with the NBA. We had 4 or
Okay,
5
let
years
us-
of the
let us make
Warriors.
our
4 or
point.
5
Yeah, let Jo-
being in
let
it.
me
I've been
let
talking for
Joey
15 minutes.
Joey and Mr. Greatest.
Been
What
sitting
do you
here
got to
getting all
counter to
your
this?
time.
He's saying that it's more competitive the last year.
Okay, Mr. Grace, you want to
what do
start
you
it off,
think
or do you
of
want me to? I don't care.
You start this one.
I'll start off. Okay. To your point, I can agree to somewhat that super teams sometimes are in the NBA, but I also think there've always been super teams. It's just the talent in the league has obviously fluctuated. That's why I also think there should be an expansion to spread out that talent so you have less super teams. Back in the 90s, there wasn't that many that much talent, so there was not as many. It wasn't so compact. So I will agree in some stance that kind of ruined the NBA, but I will stand behind that the three-pointer did it. The three-pointer, we can all agree, Steph changed the game, and the Warriors changed the game
Yes.
when they came in and used that
Mhm.
three-pointer. Even without KD, that was a dominant team with just Steph, Clay, and Draymond. That was a very good team with really good role players who knew how to shoot. And I think that team was fun to watch. But now everybody has tried to emulate the Warriors, and that's not fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it when there were different teams. You had the Lob City Clippers. What a fun team to watch. Chris Paul throwing lobs to DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin, the fun team. Grit and Grind Grizzlies. They're a really fun team that they just went out there and played defense. You had the Pistons of the early 2000s who were they didn't have a superstar. They just went out there. Everybody did the role very well. Nobody played crazy good, and they won the finals. Like, that's a fun team to watch. So my thing is, they may have ruined the NBA like competitively, but like you can still go. I still have fun. Like, obviously, it's fun to watch the Nets, although they might kill people. They're a very good team, and other super teams will be built to beat them because that's just what happens. My thing is, every team playing exactly the same, even the super teams, they build around their superstars, and then they sign or trade for or get out from the buyout market three-point shooters. Not to mention, we have wire big man shooting. Blake Griffin should not be a three-point shooter. Kevin Love should never have been a three-point shooter. Chris Bosh, he was a good three-point shooter. He did it well in the Heat. He was an amazing post player who was very good for Toronto. Why are there big men playing like that? We don't have enough different types of teams that are fun to watch. Those are my main points. If Mr. Gates wants to throw something in.
I mean, you even get the 76ers who started to shoot threes now.
Yep.
It mostly built big.
Yeah, it doesn't. It just doesn't make any sense. You have team. Okay.
I have a question. Do you think, because obviously, it's if you don't shoot threes, you shouldn't be in the NBA.
Yeah.
I feel like Ben Simmons, people hate Ben Simmons because he can't shoot threes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And do you think if Ben Simmons played 15 years ago, he would have been one of the best?
Not even that 15 years ago.
Yeah, he would have been he'd probably been Magic Johnson like.
If Ben Simmons came in the league and they tried to build a team to play to his strengths instead of trying to make him be a shooter or whatever they're trying with him. I don't even know what they're trying with him. But you have to build teams around your players. You can't. Not every player is going like a Ben Simmons, like you said. You're going to be able to. Okay, let's learn to shoot a three so you can be a good player on a team. Not every player is going to do that. Why are we doing that? Like we were talking about this. Frank agreed with this. Why are big men? Why are some of these great in college, great post up big men who just dominated? Just we got people like who came in. I know
real
Frank.
Quick, I don't want to interrupt before we get too far down the road. What you were saying earlier about the expansion, when you guys were in the other group chat or whatever, and me and Alex were talking, I brought up how super teams it went from duos to trios to a whole roster. I don't know if there's really. You said make an expansion. I don't know what they can really do though to stop.
It would spread out the players.
The best way would have to be.
But how can they do that?
You have to get rid of the buyout market. You got to expand the league to spread out talent.
I agree with
players just got to be more competitive. You got to lower the salary cap or something
But I feel
the salary cap.
Yeah.
Here's what I felt like.
This luxury cap bullshit.
Y'all remember when Draymond Green said Warriors won? One of them prayed about LeBron. He was like, "You pissed off about a super team, but you started the damn super team." Notice how every super team is playing to beat each other.
Yeah, my thing about the Warriors is that wasn't even Steph, Clay, and Draymond. They weren't a super team. We can agree without KD.
That was
they were drafted. It wasn't people who signed them. That was a good organizational move. You didn't just sign somebody. And my thing also here, I want to make one last point about the 3-pointers real quick. So the 3-pointers, if we look at it, who out of all the 3-point shooting teams, Mr. Greatest was the Lakers, an amazing, crazy 3-point shooting team last year. As somebody who watched it, just interested to see.
They were a bad 3-point shooting team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They weren't good at 3-point. And guess they won the finals because they
just flat up better than everybody.
They worked the post.
Nah,
let
it's also
LeBron do what he
LeBron.
does. Yeah, but it was a duo, and they worked up AD. What if LeBron was like, nah, AD, we gotta spread the floor. Go out to the 3-point line. No.
What?
He
Oh,
need the ball in
what?
the post and
AD
body
did
him.
do that.
AD
AD
can
definitely
do that, but you also
Yeah,
gave
but
it
like
to AD in the post.
24/7.
Yeah. Not all those are coming from threes. Majority of
Now,
those are
here's
coming
one thing I wanted
inside.
to say about
I'm
one of your
saying.
points earlier.
Yep.
You brought up how all teams are like building around like, even if you don't have the
Trying to build
superstar,
up,
you're
yeah, trying
building
to build up
around like a
somebody
3-point
with
team. I
shooters.
get what
Yeah,
you're saying,
that's
but
boring.
what's I don't know how to really argue this because I mean it's true. It is boring as hell. But then you have teams. This was the argument I said earlier when we were talking about it. You have the teams like the Nets who are just superstar gods who can shoot at will, no problem. And you have teams like the Rockets who just don't know what they're doing, just putting players out there. And those players are gonna shoot 33 still, but they're obviously all ass. So it's like even if you're building your team around it, like I don't know if it's just because the 3-pointer has developed so much, you can build your team around it. This is what I was asking Michael: is playing more like a slasher post player? Does that take more skill, or does being a fantastic shooter take more skill or more?
Yeah, it's not even it's not even about the skill. I just think it's about if you want good ratings, it's just straight up entertainment value. You can't have every team doing the same thing or just gets repetitive. And that's why nobody wants to watch the sport.
And
It
I agree
sucks.
with that because
You know what's
Other-
sad
All right,
about
then
it?
what's your
What
solution?
other sport?
Wait. You know what's
is like
sad about
that?
it is when it's changed it where people could have a wide open like mid range or layup, and they will dribble out to the
they will not.
3-pointer.
Yes, they will go out to
It's
3-pointer.
it's that has
Tap
gotten
out of it.
sad.
It's dunks or 3-pointers. You have to say it's
me and
efficient
Or
or
Mr.
driving
fast.
Greatest,
hit to the guy
Mr.
in the corner of
Greatest,
open three.
Yeah.
Stuff, right?
Mr. Greatest actually remembers this. When we used to play, it was like 2K17, 2K16 with
Ah,
Tyler.
Jesus.
No, just listen. There'd be an open mid range or something like that, and something with Tyler, he wouldn't shoot it. And me and Mr. Greatest tried to explain to him that mid ranges are like the lowest percentage taken shot now because you're either taking
Yeah.
a layup or you're shooting a three.
Or
Mhm.
There's
dunk.
no, yeah,
Mhm.
like you don't see mid ranges anymore. Like, cause why take the mid range if you're either just gonna go dunk it or shoot the three? Like, you know what I mean?
But that's the problem with it. So what do you think about teams that you have the Rockets who you don't even use a center? They used PJ Tucker, and they
But they're not
legit
anymore.
said, I've said they did.
Yeah.
They legit lived and died by that
That's the
3-point line.
problem. Look at all the 3-point.
No, what do you think about
especially
teams
the
that do
Rockets.
that?
You got the Rockets.
That's
They're
annoying.
not going to win. That's boring. I don't want to watch that. You literally, what's going to happen? You're going to walk down. Okay. 3-pointer. Oh, okay. Next possession. Here we go. 3-pointer.
I mean, you
That's
legit
so
watch.
boring.
I mean, there's a reason they got
It's
blown out in the
hard
playoffs.
because you
Terrible.
legit will watch Harden
Terrible, man. It's terrible.
shoot, maybe miss like 10
How is a team
three-pointers.
with James Harden boring?
Yeah.
You gotta
But-
but you gotta admit, okay, yes, I agree with everything y'all just said about that. But watching that Rockets team, they had decent talent on that team, but they really just relied heavily on Harden getting 40 a game
The
to
thing,
win.
yeah. See, we're not talking. See, that's the thing. We're not talking about.
But
does it
the
win?
problem is,
We're talking
the
about
thing is,
entertainment. Just entertainment. Is it killing this? Yes, it's killing.
when that
Yes.
Rockets team was made, I feel like when they played that was when the Warriors were super team. I feel like
hold on.
those
The
playoffs.
Rockets
I think those
were good.
no, but I'm saying is they weren't a super team, but they were good. I'm saying I think the finals, that playoff series didn't kill it at all of the super team. It was more of we want to see the super team get beat. So I don't know if that really kills the ratings. It's more of
I would
People want to
rather watch
see
a
that.
bunch of. I
They
would
want to see
rather
them
watch
lose.
a bunch of teams try to take down the super team in different ways than every team go out there and shoot threes against the super team.
You know what?
And
You
I
know
don't
what
know-
I loved about playoff basketball when I was younger, in like 2011, 12, 13.
Yeah.
I loved watching the Clippers because they were a
Lob
different
City,
team.
so cool. That's
Even when they lost to the
cool.
Thunder, when they
So
were
cool.
playing the Rockets, it was 3-1, whatever. Those were fun games to watch
Fun
because
ass
those were
teams.
different teams
Blake
playing each other.
Blake Griffin catching oops for fucking days. So fun.
All
I
right.
wouldn't say those were super teams though.
So, like, what's the solution then?
I want to say this.
Don't say take out the
So-
3-point line because
No, listen.
I'm not
So
saying that.
obviously
You gotta
both are
provide a
no, listen.
Okay, I'll
both
provide
are
a solution.
both are problems. it seems that super teams are more of a short term, but they can go on like so it could stop, then another one happens.
Yeah, I think the
And then
three-pointer is
the
long-term
NBA,
too.
the 3-pointer is long term, like it's just gradually killing it.
I want
What
to think of this.
But I'm saying is, so like you had the Warriors, now you have, but like the Nets are gonna last 2 years and then that's
Okay,
done. But they're gonna
think
ruin
of
the
this,
NBA
think
for
of
those
this.
2 years. But then
The
another
NBA
one's gonna
no,
happen.
that's true. But imagine, say free agency happened last year, 2 years ago, whatever, and Kyrie and KD and all them, they decide to go to the Bucks. What are we talking about now? You know what I mean?
That they're
See?
bitches.
Do you guys watch NBA?
No, but what? Well,
They
obviously,
still
but like,
kind of bitches, dude.
okay. The Nets, I said this the other day, the Nets were a decently good team. They made the playoffs. They weren't terrible. But then Kyrie goes there, KD goes there. Harden gets traded, and all of a sudden Blake Griffin and Aldridge get the buyouts or whatever, and they're all of a sudden on this team, and this team just blows up out of nowhere. Say this happened to Milwaukee, who already had a superstar and were a number 1 seed. I'm telling you, the fucking NBA, no one would want to watch. Like, people don't want to watch it. People wouldn't even give a damn about it anymore if the Bucks got those guys instead of the Nets. Like,
Yeah.
See, that's my
What if the
thing.
Lakers had those people though?
okay, then what the fuck are we? Why are we playing 2K? Let's go make our own basketball game with some made up players.
But
Make it
I want to ask.
competitive.
This is the next discussion. For what's the solution? Like Alex said, what
Move the 3-pointer back about 3-4 feet.
that should have, dude.
No.
You're seeing
Oh no, we're not doing that.
LeBron. You're seeing LeBron.
Okay, but what's the percent? You want to see
Shoot.
the percentage on those shots?
But the thing is, I mean, they're probably getting better at it. Like I'm seeing these dudes, like Damian Lillard is shooting.
Dame
All
is-
right, then
Dame
you kind of
said he's
weed out the
confident from pulling up
fucking.
that far.
You
Yeah,
kind of
that's
weed
like
out the
elite
not
shooters
as
should be
good
able to
shooters.
shoot. Yeah, elite shooters should be able to shoot from there. Motherfuckers like
This is the problem, though.
Brooke
I think
Lopez.
it might
LeBron
get to
shouldn't
a
be sitting-
point
yeah,
where like
Brooke
they're like,
Lopez
fuck
should be
it.
a 3-point
They're
shooter.
like,
That pisses me off. Oh my god.
no,
Joel
but this,
Embiid.
I think it's to the point where it's
Oh my
like,
God, I hate
do you
these
like
fucking
teams are gonna be
videos.
like, dude, do we need a 7-foot? Let's just run like a 6'6" guy who can jump
Michael-
high, grab a board.
Yeah, look at TJ.
Yeah, like
Hey.
a 6'2" point guard that can jump high.
this dude Joey just yelled reminded me of Brandon Marshall.
I hate this. I hate that motherfucker.
Okay,
like,
hold on.
Lopez,
I
like
want to say
watching
this
him,
real
but
quick.
I want to
I-
hear Alex and Frank's. I want to hear how will you do
I think
to
we
solve
gave a
it? 'Cause
couple
I think
solutions already.
How to solve
for
super
teams.
teams?
I think we already gave a couple solutions. yeah.
no, a 3-pointer problem.
Okay, to solve the 3-pointer problem, it's tough because okay, this is gonna sound disrespectful. I feel like the players coming in,
Everybody
not
wants to
bitches.
shoot threes. Everybody
No,
wants to
they're not
shoot
I
threes.
think we
but
need
like-
another revolutionary player.
We
Okay,
got
no,
exactly
but
what
that's what
we
I'm
need.
saying. Okay,
Bronny.
you have James Harden
We
who
need
gets
LaMelo.
touched. You have James Harden who's touched. It's a foul. Then you got these guys. I don't want to go back far, but DeMarcus Cousins was fighting motherfuckers in the paint, getting hacked like crazy.
Mhm.
No calls.
Getting ejected
like-
every game.
I
Too.
feel
Still
like
shooting
players
threes.
just
Yep.
learned to stop fucking worrying about the
That's
paint.
fair. That's a good point. That's a really good point, Frank.
Like,
That's a
okay,
really good point.
Blake Griffin went from dunking like crazy. All of a sudden, he's like, you know what? I fucking hurt myself.
Free.
He got hurt, right?
Yeah.
You always got
Yeah,
hurt.
Blake Griffin was getting hurt. He just stopped. He stopped. I remember it was like 2016, 15. He started to develop a jump shot. But I remember back in 2012, you seen Blake Griffin shoot. You're like, what the fuck are you doing? He just adjusted to. I don't want to say the league because nothing was really changing like
I think
crazy.
Kevin Love
He
is the
doesn't
perfect
quit on saying
example.
he won't get hurt as much.
I just think
Yeah,
Kevin Love is the perfect example. Just if anybody here remembers him when he was with the Timberwolves, dominant player, like
Yeah.
dominant, like 20 and 15.
He was
type
a
That was
guy.
the
30,
white
30
KG.
Kevin Love was a good shooter, but his role on the Cavs was strictly shooter.
Yes,
He
they
wasn't
said
on the.
and-
Kevin Love on the Timberwolves could do everything. Kevin Love on the Cavs was Kyle Korver.
Kevin Love on the Timberwolves was fun to watch. Kevin Love on the Cavs was not fun to watch. It's that simple.
That's
It's
he's
that
also
simple.
a third option.
Okay, but the
They
thing
weren't going to give the ball in the
but
post. It's not.
Alex, that's the thing. You go, oh, Kevin Love's the third option. That's crazy. The way they
Kevin-
played him was stand in the corner, you'll get the ball if
Yes.
you're open.
He was
Kevin Love
basically
was
Kyle
meant
Korver.
to get the ball and
all
body
Kyle
anybody.
Korver. Yeah, I don't know if Alex you watched the NBA back then, but
Nope.
Kevin Love was disgusting. It was like a 2015 every night. He's putting up Mr. Greatest
Now,
numbers.
I do feel like every team should have those 3 or 4 snipers that just.
Yeah, you obviously need
Yeah, of
shooters
course.
to
Like,
win.
You should
okay,
have. You should have shooters.
Yeah, every team
Your whole
needs shooters,
team
yes.
shooters.
But
Every-
every
yeah.
player is shooters. I fucking
Everyone.
listen.
Yeah,
y'all,
that's the
y'all,
problem.
y'all
That's
know
the
I
thing.
love to joke
Everyone.
about the prime Draymond and stuff like that and all that and the shooting.
Yeah, we
thing I
can
loved
shit on
about
Draymond. Draymond's fun to watch.
I loved Draymond being physical in the paint, playing defense.
Yeah.
I don't
Playing
fucking
defense,
even-
telling
if
these
he
young
was-
guys where to go, making
Even
good
if he was
passes.
fouling people, even if he was
Fun.
fouling and starting fights, he was fun to watch because he was physical. There's no physicality with these
Hey,
big men. That's why I
Tad,
love
man.
that.
Yeah, the whole
That
league
man
going
may
strong.
be a bitch, but he's fun to watch.
Okay, do y'all remember the other day? It was a couple weeks ago, I think. I said y'all. I got roasted hella hard, and it was not how I meant it. I said Joel Embiid is one of the only big men in the league who's more physical now, and everybody was screaming at me because he's obviously can shoot. But I've seen clips of this
he's
man
not shooting.
going
He's not
at
a shooter.
people.
Yes, he's not a shooter.
No, but I've seen clips of
He
him
just
going
can.
at people,
He
and
just
there's not
can
big
shoot.
men that do that anymore.
And guess what? If he would have stayed injured, he still might be the MVP. But if he wouldn't have got injured, he definitely was the MVP. Like,
Yeah.
and fun
Anyways, to get
fucking
back on
watch.
track, to fix 3-point shooting, I don't really know other than
That's the
like
problem. You got to.
I think it
change the
starts with
coaching.
big
You got
men
to
because I'm
start.
fine
Yeah, the
with
big
your
men, bring
guards
them
and
in. Yes.
forward shooting, but
Yeah,
when
they
you
should
have
shoot.
5
If you have
out
an
and
open
they're
three, you
just
should shoot
standing
it.
in the
Yeah.
corner,
But
I don't like that shit.
But listen, this is I think it's more deep than centers. If you would agree, I think it's more of
Ooh,
when you
hold
look
on.
at
This is a
when
good
you
argument. This is a good
no,
one.
when you look at
All the-
college players
Yeah,
now,
all the
like
high school kids,
Luca
all the high
Garza.
school
Luca
kids.
Garza won College Basketball Player of the Year. Might not even get drafted. He was the best college player,
Yeah.
and he's not going to be able to play because he's a physical center.
Yeah.
Like we want a shooter who's going to space the floor,
And if he does make
that's
it to
not
the NBA,
him.
you know what he's going to be doing?
That's
bench.
why I love players
We
like
shooter,
that's-
defender,
Andre
or
listen,
rebounder.
listen. That's what's wrong with it.
That's the problem.
Is now you have centers who are like,
school
yeah.
kids are coming up, and all their coaches are telling them, or they're watching the NBA, and they're like, "I have to be a shooter if I want to make it.
Yeah.
I got to be a shooter."
Yeah, shooter
'Cause you
or
see
defender, or
Everyone-
both.
A shooter or defender.
Luca
Should be
Garza is a
maybe-
perfect example. He
Mhm.
carried. I mean, look at Iowa's team. All they did was fucking shoot threes.
Yeah.
And you see Luca Garza, the best player in college basketball, won't even get in the lottery. What does that say to all the other young centers in college, in high
Mhm.
school? Like, oh, I guess I should
Look
be
at,
fucking bull and shoot threes.
Look at what's his face from Kansas that just joined the NBA last year. He's really good. Azubuike. I don't know if you guys know who Azubuike is, but Azubuike was like one of the best players in college basketball for all 4 years he was there. He goes into the NBA. He's not even playing because he's a big man who thrives in the paint. He's just not a shooter. He's not going to be.
Defense,
This goes
can you
off
rebound?
what you guys are saying. This goes off what you guys are saying. Mr. Greatest, I know you watched back then. I don't know who else watched.
Yeah.
I don't
don't know what you're
remember
talking about.
exactly because I was like young as hell. Anthony Davis wasn't shooting, right? He wasn't a shooter when he came into the league.
No, Frank, I remember I would watch Pelicans games where he would take the
Pelicans are
center
so
and
good.
manhandle them. And
It's
you're like,
'cause-
holy
yeah.
shit, that's a grown ass
But
dude.
you notice how
Mhm.
he developed with the league, and now he
Yep.
can do both. At least he can do both. Some players don't touch the paint anymore.
I feel like he stays too. I think he should go back to that.
he
I think
needs to get to a bit
centers,
more than the
the dominant centers need to go in the paint.
Think about Shaq. Most dominant players of all
Michael.
time. Was he a 3-point shooter?
Hold on. Yesterday, me and Michael were
I
walking
don't
back
know.
to get food, or 2 days ago. Michael asked me, "Who's winning a one-on-one, Anthony Davis or Tim Duncan?" I said, "Listen, Anthony Davis can be all that fancy, but Tim Duncan was Mr. Fundamental for a reason.
Yeah,
he
he
knows
will-
what he's doing."
He's gonna beat you.
I think
So
you
Anthony
made a wrong
Davis-
step. You made a wrong
Anthony
step. Boom.
Davis can- Anthony Davis will take you to the three-point line and dribble, but I feel like Tim Duncan fundamentally will be able to guard all that. He'll be able to do everything because he's Mr. Fundamental. You know what I mean?
I think the
Anthony
only reason
Davis,
AD beating him is
Players
because
today
athletic.
don't have that fundamental in them to do all that. They can't guard all that. They're not. I don't know. I just feel like players today, they're not soft, but they're not.
They're
trained
soft.
right.
El always talks about this when players flop. I can't stand. I don't like Harden when LeBron flop. I can't. It looks like
That's a problem,
when I
too.
watch. I mean, I'm starting to watch soccer, like
Soccer's terrible.
like England, Europe. It looks like they're playing soccer. The amount of times they flop, like it's ridiculous. They need to like stiffen up. Like you said it, the foul. They got to make the league tougher. They need to make.
Fuck it, add hand checking back.
I don't remember what it was. I think I watched a video on this. They enforce a $50,000 fine to everyone who flops. They've only enforced it 34 times. I think it's like since like 2010. I'm telling you right now, there's been more than 34 flops in every season.
Probably more than
flops this year.
There's probably 34 flops in 2 weeks.
So the NBA they noticed it and then they just never enforced it. They just didn't give a fuck.
LeBron probably got more than 34 flops in the last 2 years.
This is a bit off track to the 3-point. This is back to the super team argument. It is fun to watch a super team play. It's fun to watch.
That Warriors team was hella fun to watch.
No, yeah, because you'd watch them go on a crazy run. You'd be like, "Holy shit, this is
that." They're those dudes.
But then once it got
the Warriors
giving a damn about basketball, you didn't want to watch them. You didn't want to see them beat the fucking Cavs. You didn't want to see them beat every team down.
The thing is, I think what Alex had up, you see the regular seasons down, but the playoffs, everybody watches it because you want to see if they can get beat. Because the Warriors weren't They weren't unbeatable. They weren't unbeatable. They lost
Chris
many
Paul
games.
plays at Game 7.
They might have got knocked off by the Rockets.
Yep, and I agree with that. That's what I was saying earlier about the Rockets. The Rockets might have shot 50 fucking threes a game and lived and died by it, but their games were always competitive. They made it competitive.
That was the year they had Clint Capella and Chris Paul, and they didn't go crazy. They still shot a lot of threes, but not as many.
No, they shot a ridiculous amount of
but
threes.
not as many compared to.
Hey, you remember? Hold on, wasn't there that streak where they missed like 26 straight threes and then?
Oh no, they should have won that game. They missed like crazy amount of threes. They missed like 27 combined, something like that. I remember the day after them getting clowned because they couldn't hit a three in the fourth quarter, because they were like should have won without Chris Paul too. It was something crazy. It was something like crazy, like 27 missed threes.
Ooh, I know we keep flip flopping back and forth. DeMarcus Cousins, remember him being the body in the paint, the anchor.
Yeah,
I
mean, he's starting to start shooting threes.
Damn,
it's because they try to weed you out.
That's gotta be the most of all time by any team.
What is that? Is that the
45.4 threes a game.
Yeah. If you are an older, hey, no, I was listening to a podcast. I think it was I don't remember the podcast, but they were talking about how every old NBA player, if they want to stay relevant, they gotta learn how to shoot three. Fucking Vince Carter, like when he was like end of his time in Toronto, started shooting 3-pointers. You're Vince fucking Carter. Dunk the ball. Nobody wants to shoot.
He got a little too old.
No, that wasn't even when he was crazy old. No, that wasn't even when he was crazy. That was his end of his career with the Raptors.
That's not a very good argument. I feel like if you're old and you're worn down, you gotta learn to shoot.
No.
Yeah, like, they won't play you.
You telling me 6'9" Blake Griffin can't dunk?
No, I get what he's
saying. Blake Griffin can fucking dunk.
I understand.
There's a difference between Blake Griffin dunking at 25 and Blake Griffin dunking at 35.
No, I'm not saying he's doing crazy dunks.
I understand adding that to your arsenal to becoming a good shooter and like post scorer / whatever.
Arsenal, but don't make that your whole game.
Your entire game.
Whole game.
Like
whole game. Again, bring it back to Kevin Love.
Timberwolves,
Kevin Love, and Cavs, Kevin Love are two different players. Those are two different players.
That's what I'm saying. But if you're Draymond Green, you're always going to be physical, but you're going to add shooting to it. Cool.
Yeah. What if Draymond just switched? He just became a shooter. Nothing else. He didn't do anything else. Shooter and 3-and-D. 3-and-D. That's all he can. Probably would be useful. He probably would help the team out, but god damn, would that be boring to watch? I'd rather watch.
Imagine if Joakim Noah became a 3-point shooter. Imagine that.
Exactly.
Imagine if Mitchell Robinson.
Well, Mitchell Robinson posts on Instagram him doing crossover step back threes, but doesn't do it in games.
I think any NBA player can do anything in a gym. That's empty.
Okay.
You can do it at garbage time.
All right, so back to the resolution. What's our resolution?
You gotta stop telling everybody that they need to be shooting threes.
This is what I think.
That's not realistic.
As when we look at both issues, they're both things that I think ruin it. I think super teams is a short term that can be solved. When you look at the 3-pointer, the more we talked about it, it can't. I don't think it can be solved. I think it's too far gone.
That's the problem. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, you need like another revolutionary generational
player. You need a revolutionary player like Steph that changed the game.
You need like another LeBron. That's all.
No, you need another Shaq who nobody can guard. and then every team has to get a dominant center to guard him.
That's what Zion needs to be.
Zion's not tall enough,
I know,
but he has a chance.
He can still be dominant.
Like Giannis, but Giannis tries to shoot threes. Like, dude.
Even this guy isn't. I know this guy's in a dominant big man. He's a big man. Like LaMelo, like a player like LaMelo who dishes the ball. You know,
LaMelo.
That has been the one breath of fresh air this season was LaMelo.
And he got
Holy
hurt.
Shit, was he fun to watch? And he got hurt, and I don't care. I really don't watch it. It's so hard to watch.
Two things I wanted to say. I heard this on another pod, Joey. You know, apparently Seth Curry is having record-breaking numbers this year, or record-breaking percentages.
Who cares? Who cares?
That's what I'm saying. It's not. It's not a popular player. Like it's whatever. But to go back to the super teams can be solved. You can stop a super team. It's rare a non-super team stops them though. Like Kawhi on the Raptors beat the Warriors super team. Yes,
talk
they
about
were
mid-range,
shit.
God.
Talk about
mid-range works.
He also beat the Sixers. The Sixers team was really good too.
And Giannis.
But listen,
and the Bucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, super teams can be beat, but you have to have some kind of super god player
you have to have a star. Yeah, you gotta have a star. Yeah.
If you're gonna compete with super
the
teams, the issue with stopping super teams is they're playing to beat each other. So you had the Heat with three.
There's always gonna be bottom feeder.
Then you get the Warriors who get three good players. You know, then they get KD and it gets 4. Then Kawhi kind of stops that.
I will agree that.
And then what happens? And then what happens? They get Brooklyn, and then they get 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
you gotta get rid of.
You
gotta get rid of all this luxury tax loopholes that you can bring in so many players.
Then you gotta get rid of the buyout market players.
Like
I think Adam Silver grows some nuts and vetoes some of this shit.
No, LaMarcus.
Yeah, he ain't gonna veto. He ain't gonna veto if the Lakers are going to benefit.
He's a good commissioner, but he's a pussy. He won't do shit.
But he's only going to do something if the Lakers are benefiting from it.
Hey, listen. The Nets are going to be dirty. Obviously, we know the Nets are going to do their shit in the playoffs.
The bold take.
They lose. What? Oh,
if they lose,
I made a bold take. But listen,
if they lose, it's
hilarious.
I'm saying, but what I'm trying to say is, don't be surprised if somehow actually.
No, it'll be the Bucks. It'll be the Bucks because they look at every team that's
randomly 4 All-Stars go join Giannis just out of nowhere. Don't be surprised if it happens though.
See, that's my problem. Like I was about to say on the buyout market, the problem is, bro, do we really think Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge are that bad? No, they're playing bad on purpose to get bought out so they can go play for a super team.
I don't know about that.
LaMarcus Aldridge was playing that bad.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah, LaMarcus.
I think the Spurs didn't want to pay him.
Griffin was playing terrible.
L brought up our good friend that Blake Griffin's not a fucking number 1 on the team.
No, he's not. But he was not that. He's not that bad. He was terrible.
Joey, hold on. Alex, look at the difference. Kevin Love wasn't a number 1, but they used him to only shoot threes. They're not asking Blake Griffin to do that.
Oh,
I'd rather watch Blake Griffin be a 4 who just dunks, who just makes cuts and dunks. I don't want to see.
Blake Griffin was good when he was a number 2 on the team.
I think it was Aldridge or Blake had like 22 points the other night, like
Aldridge,
out of nowhere.
You think he was shooting that from the 3-point line? Hell no, he was working that bitch in the post. That's fucking LaMarcus.
You know why? Because they got three lethal shooters on the 3-point line.
Yeah.
And they got Joe Harris just chilling around.
And Jeff Green.
KD wasn't even playing. I think it was just Kyrie.
Yeah, KD and Harden just aren't playing.
They kind of just. KD's back. KD, he wasn't back for that game though. It was just LaMarcus and Kyrie.
Well, Harden, and Kyrie, and KD, they all been playing fucking tag team. Who's playing today?
Here's a good way. It's
I
not
think they all
good way
just
to like
play.
settle this argument.
Yeah, I want to see all 5 of them play.
Hold on. Here's the thing.
Funny.
That was the downfall of the Clippers. They need to play together.
Here's the thing. To stop super teams, other super teams are built. But those super teams are being built off 3-point shooters now.
I don't think it's super teams. You gotta build teams that beat those teams. Because
and I'm fine with good teams.
This is my take. This is my take for the year. If there's a team to knock off the Nets, it's gonna be the Bucks. Because if you look at the teams who beat the Bucks, they have very good inside presence to stop Giannis. Do the Nets have a very good inside presence? No, he's going to score at will.
The Knicks have lost to the Nets twice by 2. Go Knicks.
In the regular
the
season.
Knicks
And
are
they're
not
still
really
like
good
in the
at
seventh seed, aren't they?
What'd you say?
I said they're still in the seventh
Is
seed,
he a
aren't they?
Thunder fan?
You can
think
Y'all
literally
wasted so
Google
many.
that.
How do y'all not have a
Hold on,
championship?
no, hold on. Here's what I want to say. So, yes,
Shut up.
What the fuck? Watching super teams is fun. Watching them compete against each other is fun. But I'm not trying to wait 82 games and then 4 series later in the postseason to watch it happen. I want to watch competitive all
Yeah,
season.
Adam Silver said he was going to do something like soccer where they have cups mid-season to make it more interesting and
There's a play-in tournament at the end of the season.
That's
That's for the
How you gonna have
fucking. That's for
like
the
a soccer tournament during
mediocre
the
team.
season though? Like midweek. That's like how's that feasible?
I say the 10 worst teams in the NBA get cut every year for new teams.
You want relegation?
No,
That
Joey,
would be crazy.
Joey, they were talking about that. They were
I
saying
know.
the 2 worst teams in the conferences get put in the
Yeah, I
G League and they have to work
G
their way
League,
out.
I saw that. I know.
No, but
That's never gonna happen.
no,
Shit on the G League.
that's how you fucking fix. That's how you fix tanking.
No,
That's how
the
you fix
Rockets are
tanking.
ass. No, but the Rockets are ass. They ain't that ass.
No. That's how you fix tanking though.
Yeah,
No,
I
that's how you
understand.
because you don't get to play for shit, and
You
then
know
you
what
could
I
have
was
another
thinking
G
about
League team come up.
Since we're talking about 3-pointers
G League
developing
teams
and
getting
all
shit
that,
on.
I want to talk about a weenie ass big man in the paint, Cat.
Yep. Hey, this is my hot take,
And I like
bro.
Cat. I don't know why he's not more aggressive.
I was talking about something. I was talking about this.
His
I don't know who
teammates
remembers us
suck.
talking about this. Zach LaVine better than Cat at this point in his career.
Zach LaVine's disgusting. I love Zach LaVine.
Cat was
Zach
supposed to be
That's because he
like.
shoot better 3-pointers.
Cat was supposed
You know
to
who-
be
He
the
also
fucking
he has a
guy.
full.
You wanna
Cat
know
was
why-
supposed to be the guy.
Okay.
Cat's so good.
I
He's not
like-
bad.
Okay.
No
you wanna know why I
shit.
like watching
Zach LaVine.
Julius
They traded Zach
Randle?
LaVine to keep Cat. Just think about that.
I like Julius Randle, not because he shoots jump shots, because he actually does post spin moves off somebody, and it looks fun. It looks cool. Like, holy shit, I want to do that. But like,
But you can't.
And you
I
You do it
can't.
for the
still be
7
a,
million times. It's
you
kind of
can still
annoying.
be a fun.
I
I think you can still be a fun player who shoots 3-pointers. You have Jokic. Holy shit, is he fun to watch?
He's
But
a generational
He
talent,
doesn't.
though.
I
He
love
doesn't
watching
just
Jokic.
shoot threes. He can shoot threes. He can
I
also
don't have
work in the
spit on
post.
a
He
second.
can also set you up for a
But
push.
Jokic shoots threes to space the defense.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to just be a shooter. You don't have to just be a shooter. You can be more than just a shooter. That's my point.
Remember the Nets the other day? There was that clip of the ball movement. Y'all remember that?
Mhm.
Even though they're a bunch of fucking douchebags.
Where they shot a 3.
They shot it. No, it was for a dunk. He dished it for a layup.
Oh, was it for a dunk?
They passed it around like 4 times, then cut, and then But still, like, you don't see teams doing that anymore. It's just dribble up, pull a 3.
Size
Have one
up,
guy
step back
dribble
three.
the
Size up,
paint,
step back.
someone help, kick it out, 3-pointer.
Joey's gonna like this. You know what? Let's bring back triangle defense or offense.
Triangle defense.
Triangle offense.
Don't work. We saw it with the
Yeah,
the
that don't
big
work
three
anymore.
Big 3 in New York. D Rose, Carmelo, and Joakim Noah. The greatest big three.
Yeah,
of all
just a
time.
North Porzingis.
The greatest big 3 of all time. That was the
Bro,
big
that
3,
team
though.
should've
That's
made
who they were hyping up. They
playoffs.
weren't hyping up Porzingis. They were hyping up Joakim Noah. And
I think this
Derrick
fans hate
Rose.
Porzingis again.
Yeah, y'all are haters. Speaking of overrated, talk about
Yeah,
Porzingis.
y'all boo this man when he got drafted. Cheered him when he was actually good. Gets
Okay.
hurt, get traded, y'all boo again.
I think we've exhausted this topic. If Michael wants to make his decision, if he can.
Yeah. Well, I want to give a round of applause for Frank and Alex for I think it was harder for them.
Harder for them? What do you mean?
Yeah, I think it was harder for.
I ain't seen nobody say 3-pointers.
Hard for all of us.
I think
we.
you guys made a lot of
convinced
good
Frank by the end.
points.
I think we convinced Frank by the end.
The thing is, it's when you look at it, what we've said is there's a lot of
There's
solutions to
ways
super
to
teams.
fix super teams.
You
There's
you
not too many
can't
ways to
fix
fix-
the damn. I don't
No.
know. Like, there's not a
Bro,
way to
let's move it
do
back
it.
They'll
2
get a
feet.
new generational player.
That won't do nothing. They'll still be like,
What did he
okay,
say?
They're
Moving
probably
back.
doing for a
3-pointer
while.
back
They're
2
like, oh
feet.
my god, we got this guy who's super dominated the paint. Let's get another guy that can do it to stop him.
You got to give big men more
Multiple dudes.
leeway, and you got to give them.
Hey man, listen. All I'm saying is, I made my Wilt Chamberlain build in 2K, and it's fun.
2K is a
Well,
perfect
I think-
example
Around
of
the
that.
court.
Everybody
since-
plays 5 out and it's boring.
Since we're talking about
Make your
the
decision.
NBA,
Michael.
no, it's a 3-point. I think Joey and Mr. Greatest. I've already said that.
Hey,
You guys won that.
want to know?
But on the, I don't know if we could end it or we could keep talking. I want one more topic about the NBA dying, which you all could talk about. Is we talked about those two things that are making it worse to watch, which is true. But when LeBron's
super
done,
teams-
no, but when
Yeah,
LeBron's done, they don't. Who's the guy you? Because it's like you saw when Jordan
Yeah.
done, the ratings
the
dipped.
ratings
When
dip
LeBron's done, the
way.
ratings are gonna dip. Who's gonna keep the ratings up?
Think about the. I don't know if anybody watches these people. Think about the Cash Nasties of the world, the Loses of the world, who only watch the NBA for LeBron.
For LeBron,
There's
like
so
Like with
many
Curry.
people who just watch it for LeBron.
when Curry and LeBron are done, I don't know who's gonna carry it. I don't
Luka,
know.
hopefully.
Here's what I'm gonna say.
If they
I
were
said
the
it-
NBA, that's the NBA's fault. They
Alright,
have
Luka.
to promote somebody. They have players who could do it. You got Luca, like Alex was
Mr.
saying.
Greatest,
Giannis, got Zion.
Zion, yeah. LaMelo.
Okay, but here's what I was gonna say earlier. I don't know if did I say it on the podcast. I said a lot of shit. The
Very
fact
good.
that
Big man.
college athletes are
that.
either coming into the league just fucking ass, being busts, or just simply not ready is ruining it because they're there for 5-6 years and they're still not doing shit. Fuck, I mean, I'm gonna bring up Knicks players, Ntilikina, fucking Kevin Knox. Y'all aren't shit, and you were top 4 or 5 picks.
Maybe y'all are just bad at drafting. Maybe that's the
I
problem.
just suck at drafting.
But what
Yeah,
I'm trying to
Mitchell
say is
Robinson,
oh,
him second round.
there's so many
You
bad
know what a
players in
god-
the draft. That
You know what a
when LeBron
goddamn-
So what do you
and
want
these
them to do?
superstars,
Stay
they-
longer? More than one and done?
No, but what I'm saying is
Well,
when
they're
LeBron,
actually getting rid of the one and done
there's a different level when
rule.
LeBron leaves, KD's done, Steph's done, all those guys are done. It's gonna be like Lonzo and shit. Like we're gonna be like, oh fucking Lonzo. Like what?
Lonzo. That's the player. I feel like this is the player.
Oh, wait, getting rid of the
Lonzo!
one and done as in like they
You
need
know-
to play 2 years, or they can
They're
just
actually
go.
getting rid of the run and done rule. So
I think this
Players
Gary. You
are gonna
want
be able
to
to
you
come
want
out
to go
of
to
high
NBA
school
side
now.
high school? Do it.
yeah, I don't give a
This
shit.
is the
If you fuck up your
How-
career, that's your fault.
how what Frank was talking about the draft. You look at the Suns;
Right.
they took Dragon Bender,
I think.
who's a 3-point center. What did he do? Nothing.
I think.
Ass.
I think as we go out in these next 10 years, you look at players like LaMelo who are going over to play in Australia. And I think that's going to become more popular as, people aren't going to force to
Mhm.
go to college now because, they're not going to get paid. You go play overseas, you're going to get paid. You're going to be playing against grown men, so it's going to be better competition. And you're just going to come into the NBA more ready. And people obviously, I feel like the NBA should pick up on that and pick those players who are playing overseas against actual grown men.
I agree with you're saying because I had this talk with Max a couple years ago when I was talking about Markelle Fultz and all that. But I brought up the NFL, and maybe it's just me. I feel like the NFL bust rate is way lower than like the
Well,
NBA.
The NFL, it's a lot different though.
It is. Yes, it's different, but you get a guy, you get Justin Herbert who comes in and he's ready, he's good. You have an NBA player come in. It takes him 3-4 years to finally develop and be a decent role player. Like, fuck, dude, do something.
Well,
You-
that's also another thing, like spread of talent.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing in the NBA is the talent is spread out way too like you have so much great talent.
Don't
right
say
here,
way
and
too
then
far.
it just
That's
drops.
backwards.
No, it is too condensed. There's
Yeah.
too much talent. We need to
That's what I'm saying.
make the league bigger to make.
You have all this great
More
talent right
disparity.
in this one spot, and then it drops off to a team that's just trash.
Like, and then you even look at a team like the Clippers, who are like, they're not a super team, but they're like a dark horse where they could make it far. But you don't expect them to beat them. Like, but they have Kawhi and Paul George. Like, if in like a
Right, what
perfect
the
NBA
fuck?
world,
Not-
in a
I
And
would-
perfect
a bunch of
NBA world,
3 and D players.
They should be split up. They should be on separate teams, leading teams, but they're playing together. That's what's wrong with it.
Well, if you told me 6 years ago Kawhi and Paul George were going to be on a team together, I would have think they won 3 rings together.
And they couldn't win because the teams are too dominant.
Because they couldn't get past Jokic and
Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray in the bubble.
That's a good. That team and like the Suns. Well, the Suns now have, but before like those teams are like traditional teams. I feel like.
Suns they were. Stop.
You're a
dude.
fan,
You're
bro.
you have been tanking since Michael Jordan.
Since D-Rose.
You've been tanking since.
Hold on. I'm gonna ask Michael this. I don't watch DeAndre. And is he physical or is he?
No, he's not physical at all. It's terrible.
He's not physical, but he plays in the post.
I don't know if you guys watched him at Arizona. Holy shit, he was a monster. Oh my god, I love it.
I knew him in college as a physical center.
He was about as physical as he gets. He doesn't play physical.
He's like scared.
He plays like a pussy.
But he's getting more physical. He's getting more physical.
He plays like a pussy.
Chris Paul tend to be more physical.
Yeah, Chris Paul probably come out there.
So now, if I can bring your attention to the screen, I would like to bring up our next MVP.
You gotta pull up.
Just in this shit now.
It's not funny.
I know who it is. I know who it is.
Not Frank Ntilikina.
Here it comes, Lou Dort or fucking.
No, it's not. I know who it is.
Shay, I don't fucking know. Oh, you're a loser.
No, I know who it is.
He's showing
that guy. Yep, I know it. I fucking know it. He's not the MVP.
Pencil neck.
Stop it. Somebody have to score that shitty.
So you're telling me this is not the next face of the NBA?
You're not allowed to
like
talk
LeBron doesn't need match.
Wait, Alex, he shoot threes?
He's the next face of the serial killer.
This man's 7 feet, 190 pounds. This man needs
Frank, you almost weigh more than him, Frank.
Yeah, he's known for his 3-pointer.
He shoots threes and he's 7 feet tall.
All right, listen.
And 190 pounds. That's crazy. 190 pounds, you're 7 foot tall.
Bro, he's 30 pounds heavier than me.
All right, listen. I'm 29. Good math.
Something like that.
We're going to wrap it up. I think everybody made good points, but I think what we can all agree on is that the NBA has to do something to like get viewers back. We can all agree. Something has to happen. They have to make some Adam Silver make some damn rule to split up these damn teams. Like, be a man, don't be a bitch.
Only 2
tournament?
Bro, just give us fucking 4 teams. Please bring one to Kansas City. Please.
I don't care. I mean, I'd be really nice to have one in Kansas City. Or just add teams to fucking spice up the league, and then teams like don't even play. They gotta do something.
I swear to God, if they put another one in California or Texas, I'm killing someone.
Oh, they're gonna put one in Seattle for sure.
That's fine, whatever. You know what sucks? Seattle's got to start all over all that shit that they had. Like, don't they have like a chip?
Oh no, the stuff they have comes back to them.
No, they use.
No, it goes back to them.
Oh, it would?
Anyone else have anything else to say?
Damn, so the Thunder got to take down some of that shit.
Yeah.
That
means it's not been hit it from when y'all first moved OKC.
Yeah, did Frank and Alex? Do you feel any differently about it?
No, I still think super teams is the leading thing that's
killing the NBA. Hard ass.
Maybe the more.
Literally switched my mind.
Okay,
on
look,
to go to
I
the NBA.
agree.
What?
I agree, it's both, but I think that the super teams is more obvious, and the 3-pointer is more like you don't really notice it, but it's slowly doing it.
No,
not really.
After hearing the points, I'm like, okay, I definitely see that side. Because when we brought up the super teams, we did talk about how the Nets do have the shooters, but they also have Blake Griffin and Aldridge now attacking the basket again. You know, being paint players again. So it's like, yeah, I guess I see their side. I don't know. Alex, you're alone now, buddy.
Oh, Frank, you converted.
I see their side, but I still
converge. Come on, I'm not making a super team, Alex. Come on now.
Let's be honest,
Alex
Frank.
Nerlens Noel was drafted by the fucking Thunder.
Frank, you joining when it had made it a super team anyway.
The fuck with the super team, man.
We're already a dynamic
big three.
We're like Kobe and Shaq over here.
You make it the little 3.
Bitch, I'm Jordan and Pippen. Michael's my Steve Kerr.
Y'all are Jeremy Grant and.
Let's end this shit off.
Sadiq Bey.
That's who y'all are.
Joey, hit us with a metaphor.
Oh shit! I'm not built for this shit. Nah, let me just read a quote. Charles
3-point
Barkley.
shooting is like the
Yeah,
coronavirus.
We'll let this guy talk. This already started off.
And
shit.
demonetized.
Okay, I just want to read a quote Charles Barkley said. Sir Charles, a little legendary quote. He said, "I've been poor, I've been rich, I've been fat, I've been skinny, I've been old, I've been in the Hall of Fame. And one thing I can always tell you, the Clippers have always sucked."
Fuck Kawhi!
beautiful.
It's just the
You imagine
truth.
if Kawhi leaves?
Get that motherfucker. I love Kawhi.
Clippers
Get
Great
might
way
be
to
at
end
the
the.
spot.
That was a great way to end it
I
off.
guess I'll outro it. Leave a like,
I guess. Ooh.
comment, subscribe.
Ooh, it's getting spicy, Michael.
Comment. We'll kind of maybe another debate topic. coming up with debate topics.
Yeah,
might
I'm
be-
not gonna lie, this was not
if you
easy
made
to
it to
come
the
up
end,
with, and it was still like pretty
if
mediocre topic.
you got to the end of the podcast,
comment pizza rolls.
Pizza rolls. I like it.
Yeah.
And if you do, Michael,
And if
give you a
this-
kiss
Oh
on
no
the-
no no
on
no!
the- on the cheek.
Comment. Frank's favorite player is Patrick Ewing. Comment that.
Yeah. And if
Patrick
this
Ewing
gets
with the
30
greatest
views,
layup of all time.
if this gets 30 views, I can host again. Thank you. God
there,
bless
We'll give that.
Japan.
Promote the Twitter.
Let's go Japan.
Follow our Twitter, Hard Hitter Pod. If you're not subscribed, I don't know what the hell you're doing. It's the best thing since
It'd be
fried
follow.
rice. Okay.
I thought it was from sliced bread.
Best thing since holes and cheese.
Chicken fried
Holes and
rice.
cheese.
Chicken wing.
Alex likes holes and cheese.
I don't
All right.
like cheese that much.
Bye bye.